Good Monday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside that weather window and kind of a mixed bag out there today. We did see a little bit of sunshine at times. You can see some blue sky just above the mountaintops as we look down the beautiful Wenatchee Valley from our cross camera up in Wenatchee Heights, thanks to Localtel's Sky-Fi tower camera. And just didn't get that warm once again. In fact, we were well below normal, 24 degrees below where we should be for this time of year as far as our highs go. And don't expect much of a warm up. Very cold and a dry start to our week both today and tomorrow. There is another weak storm system that'll move through late Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning with some scattered snow on Wednesday. And then just a few snow showers with partly cloudy skies and still cool temperatures as we make our way into Thursday and Friday. And we'll have much more weather for you coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. Moses Lake Police used Facebook to apprehend a man suspected of felony hit and run. A routine traffic stop in Soap Lake turned into a 38-mile-long high-speed pursuit Friday afternoon. And the Chelan County PUD received results today of the investigation into the death of a worker at Rock Island Dam last year. But first, we begin tonight. A Sunday evening fire caused extensive damage to the Bluebird Cold Storage Building in Peshastin. The two-alarm fire was first reported shortly after 7 p.m. Our Sky-Fi webcam captured these images of the fire as flames swept through the west end of that structure. The facility's interior continued to burn this morning and into early afternoon. Chelan County Fire District 6 Chief Phil Mosier says the fire is located in a building that contains up to 12 cold storage rooms with boxes of fruit inside. The building itself was built in the 1980s, which is also of concern.
These walls have the possibility of coming down at any time because at this age of a building, the exterior walls are concrete tilt up, the interior walls were built out of wood, so there's nothing holding those things up now.
Flames were visible from U.S. Highway 2, and the fire generated a huge volume of smoke that blanketed the entire Wenatchee Valley this morning. There are no reports of injuries at this time. The fire prompted an emergency 48-hour boil water advisory for Peshastin. Officials expressed concerns about the possibility of chemicals from the fruit storage operation leaking out and contaminating a neighboring well. Moses Lake Police employed Facebook to apprehend a man suspected of felony hit and run. 22-year-old Cooper Wilson faces multiple charges stemming from a hit and run collision Friday night in which a man riding a horse was seriously injured and his horse was killed. Police say the victim was riding on Frontage Road near the golf course when he was struck from behind. Moses Lake Police say Cooper fled the scene, crashing through the fence and getting on westbound I-90 before crashing through the fence again and back onto North Frontage Road. Then he continued westbound. Police say they were able to identify the suspect within 15 minutes of posting a request for help on the department's Facebook page. Cooper was arrested Saturday and is now booked at the Grant County Jail. The victim's current condition is not immediately available. A routine traffic stop in Soap Lake turned into a 38-mile-long high-speed chase Friday afternoon. It happened at 1:15 p.m. Friday when Grant County Sheriff's deputies initiated a traffic stop at 4th Avenue and Connor Street South in Soap Lake. The vehicle had license plates attached that didn't belong to that car. The suspect vehicle stopped at first but then fled as the officer was attempting contact. Soap Lake Police and Grant County Sheriff's Office pursued the vehicle about 22 miles from Soap Lake to Coulee City on State Route 17. At times, speeds reached 114 miles an hour on the highway. The pursuit traveled through Coulee City streets, almost striking a police unit before continuing down Pinto Ridge Road. Sheriff's deputies safely and successfully utilized spike strips on the suspect vehicle on Pinto Ridge Road before blowing 2 of the 4 tires. Soap Lake Police Department initiated a pit maneuver on the suspect vehicle, causing it to rotate and become disabled immediately and safely ending the pursuit. The 2 occupants of the vehicle were taken into custody with no further incident. The driver, 23-year-old Tristan Duplachon of Warden, had several outstanding arrest warrants. The passenger, 29-year-old No Duarte of Warden, also had several outstanding arrest warrants. They were booked into Grant County Jail on those outstanding warrants and several additional charges. The results of a third-party investigation into the death of a Rock Island dam worker last summer faults Chelan County PUD for the accident. Harold Malkin with the law firm Lane Powell presented his findings to PUD commissioners this morning. Ed Bromley was killed last June when he was struck by a steel swing rail while crane testing near one of the dam spill gates. Malkin cited two main causes of that accident.
The first is an inherent and in recent years unrecognized weakness in the design of the swing rails deployed, as Kirk mentioned, at 11 of Rock Island's 31 spillway bays, including Gate 17, where Mr. Bromley was struck and killed. The second finding, the second cause, is the district's failure to promptly and formally document and adequately address swing rail-related safety concerns, which credible and recently identified evidence suggests were first raised back in the mid-1990s, shortly after swing rails were added at Rock Island for the very first time.
PUD General Manager Steve Wright reported that changes have been made to address the findings of the investigation.
Since June 13th, we've taken action to implement interim design changes and new operational procedures that reduce the risk of a similar incident. So we feel reasonably confident today that the same thing could not happen again. But I would call those interim fixes. There are many recommendations in this report that can reduce risk. We are actively implementing the affirmative recommendations and considering those that were recommended for additional evaluation. I would add importantly that we are also thinking about this not just in terms of hydrosystem operations out of Rock Island, but more generally, what can we learn from this that will help us in terms of procedures across the district.
Bromley's death also resulted in the PUD being fined $6,000 for workplace violations by Washington State Labor and Industries. The 8-month-long investigation report is available for public review on PUD's website. Coming up next, the JCPenney store in Wenatchee's Valley North Shopping Center is not on the retailer's latest list of store closures. Newly elected 12th District State Representative Keith Gaynor had his first bill pass off the House floor on Friday. And in addition to dozens of written objections from residents, an official appeal has now been filed in an effort to stop construction of the Leavenworth Adventure Park. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Hi, I'm Cordell Schroeder, owner of East Wenatchee Mobile Storage.
If you're thinking about making a move anytime soon, check out the East Wenatchee Mini Storage brand new mobile storage service. They drop it off at your location, you pack it, and they pick it up and store it in their protected warehouse at East Wenatchee for as long as you need. When you're ready, they'll drop it off at your new home or office. East Wenatchee Mini Storage is excited to offer this brand new service to our region.
Call 509-884-8643 or find us on the web at ewministorage.com.
Highlander Grill and Golf Course is known as one of the finest wedding venues in the Wenatchee area. You do not have to be a member to come to Highlander. Highlander Golf Course offers a first-class backdrop for your wedding day. Our friendly professional staff will ensure your wedding and reception is picture perfect, from every moment leading up to the I-dos to when the lights go down at the end of your reception. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Welcome back. In another news, the JCPenney store in Wenatchee Valley North Shopping Center is not on the retailer's list of store closures, the company announced on Friday. The JCPenney announced late last week, it would be closing 27 stores, but did not say which stores. Dana Harrington of JCPenney Media Relations said Friday that Wenatchee is not on that list. JCPenney closed 138 stores in 2017 and 8 more stores last year. It still has more than 800 locations throughout the country. Newly elected 12th District State Representative Keith Gaynor had his first bill pass off the House floor on Friday. House Bill 1633 would make the posting of state and federal fuel tax rate information by fuel pump inspectors permanent. The posting of fuel tax rates on pumps was passed as part of the 2017 through 2019 transportation budget when former Representative Carrie Condata was able to get the fuel tax sticker legislation amended into the transportation budget. Washington State's current gas tax is 49.4 cents per gallon. That's the third highest gas tax in the country, behind Pennsylvania and California. The federal gas tax rate is 18.4 cents per gallon, 22.4 cents per gallon for diesel fuel. House Bill 1633 passed by a vote of 92-2. It now heads to the Senate for consideration. Well, in addition to dozens of written objections from residents, an official appeal has been filed in an effort to stop construction of the Leavenworth Adventure Park. On Friday, the deadline to appeal the City of Leavenworth's conditional approval of the project, Friends of Leavenworth, raised legal objections through their attorney, Robert Dodge. They cite several issues, including parking, traffic, noise, and the aesthetics of the park. The proposed 10-acre park would include an alpine coaster and other attractions on a hillside at Icicle Road and Highway 2. The project has been controversial from the start. After numerous objections last summer, developer John Sutherland withdrew, then resubmitted his application. With numerous mitigation requirements, it's cleared most city and state environmental hurdles. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's features story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Hi, Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. When you think of Alpine Air in Wenatchee, think of professional, friendly customer service for all your heating and cooling needs. Alpine Air partners with Carrier, manufacturers of some of the best heating and air conditioning equipment available today. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Visit our store in Wenatchee, meet our people, see our shop. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
If you want to work in healthcare, choose the program that teaches the skills employers want. The Charter College Medical Assistant Program combines hands-on learning in the lab with convenient online learning, plus real-life experience with an externship. Classes start every 5 weeks, so you don't have to wait to launch your new career. Enroll with confidence, knowing Charter is institutionally accredited by the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, and be ready to work in less than a year. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
Arctic Refrigeration and Heating, serving North Central Washington, is proud to offer the finest heating and cooling air quality products along with prompt and professional customer service since 1984. Regardless of the temperature outside, Arctic is here for you. Arctic offers a variety of services: residential and commercial heating, air conditioning, commercial refrigeration, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. In tonight's features story, Executive Director Matt Cadman is at the Numerica Performing Arts Center for 2 more weeks before moving on to Act 3 of his life, as he puts it. Cadman was a guest on Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti this morning, talking about his time at the local nonprofit and community arts center.
This is bigger than a traditional theater. This is a community center, and we ought to be one of the cultural anchors of the Valley. So if we did anything right, it was that we immediately turned the theater into outreach, more than had been done before. I mean, a real priority was outreach. So we started a program called Every Kid's at the Pack.
Right, remember that.
Every Kid at the Pack has gone crazy. 17,000 kids have attended a show at the Pack for free because of sponsors and donors from the community who stepped up and saw it was beautiful.
Okay, now here's the question, though. I mean, your passion for this is obvious, okay? Who's gonna... Why are you leaving?
Why am I leaving? Well, my parole is up, frankly, and my community service hours don't... No. I told you before.
He's fulfilled his community service. So.
I'm out of here. All things must pass.
Yeah, okay.
When I took the job, I thought it would be a 3 to 5 year transition because I had long-term goals that I thought would take 5 years.
Yeah.
And this is my 6th year.
Yeah.
And frankly, I've accomplished most everything on that original list, which is exciting. I wish, I don't know if you ever are totally happy with the things are, but I wish that I could have attained sustainable growth to a deeper degree than we are. But in almost every other category, we have either met the target I set or surpassed it.
Okay, well, who is gonna...
The board of directors, when I announced my retirement in January, I gave a 2-month notice, which is probably really, really long.
Right.
But I wanted to have the board have a chance to have a smooth transition because I realized that this is a very unique position. And given where we are and where we were, who knows where it's going to be in another 5 years. So they're looking for the future for certainly not a Matt Cadman, but somebody who can take the baton and go further.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they need. So.
Believe me, nobody needs another Matt Cadman. So ask him.
I don't know.
This is definitely a very difficult decision and a very emotional decision, but I do want everyone out there to know that you are entirely the reason that the New America PAC has reached such heights. And once I leave, I'm just so hopeful and so confident that you'll continue to support the New America PAC with the same gusto and verve that you have before. This is a place, one of the great community anchors of our town and a great community trophy. So thank you so much for all the support you've given me and for our precious little theater. And I wish you all well in the next act.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Before we get to those details, as always, let's take a look once again outside our weather window. Sky-Fi tower camera, courtesy of Localtel, providing this beautiful shot from Wenatchee Heights near the cross. It's the cross camera, we call it, is the Wenatchee Valley. Down below, a little bit of blue sky this afternoon, and then a pretty good cloud deck over the top of that. So that kept our temperatures down once again. In fact, we were well below normal for this time of year. High temperature today unofficially at 24 degrees, but look where we started at 3 degrees, which is a new record low. Our old record low was 6 degrees. That was set back in 1960. By the way, we also set a record low temperature yesterday morning at 6 degrees, so 2 consecutive days of 2 record low temperatures. Normal high, as I mentioned, 49 degrees, so 25 degrees below where we should be for this time of year. And look at that, our normal low is 31 degrees. 61, our record high, that was set back in 2012, and our record low 6 degrees in 1960. 1.90 now, our precipitation to date. Remember, we did pick up that little bit of snowfall throughout the morning on Saturday. Not much of that stuck, about an inch or two around the valley. We're at 22.2 inches for snowfall for the date. Sunrise 6:36, sunset this afternoon at 5:50. Let's take a look now at our surface loop, what we can expect throughout the week. Partly cloudy skies tonight and cold temperature. Notice the isobar still well below Washington and Oregon, and that's still cold air funneling down along these isobars down into the south central part of the United States. As we get into Tuesday, increasing clouds throughout the day as this area of low pressure spinning counterclockwise continues to move up the coast. That will bring us those increasing clouds. Light winds for tomorrow and just slightly warmer for high temperatures on Tuesday. By Wednesday morning then, we'll see cloudy skies and a 60% chance for snow. Here's that area low pressure right behind our banner just off the Oregon coast. And you can see the snow showers, especially in the southern part of the state. By Wednesday night, we'll see most of the snow from Wenatchee and the north central part of Washington over into the western part of the state. About an inch or two total is possible if we even see that by the time we get into late Wednesday. For Thursday then, most of that system breaks up. Some of it staying in western Washington, the rest of that moving into the Intermountain West, into the panhandle of Idaho and western Montana. Friday, we'll see partly cloudy skies, light winds. Notice the cold air, though. We're beginning to see a bit of a ridge build up just over northern Oregon. So Friday, I think we'll see some warmer temperatures as well, at least into the upper 30s for Friday. Saturday, mostly sunny. We will stay on the cool side, even though we will see temperatures mid to upper 30s. Keep in mind, that's still about 10 degrees below where we should be for this time of year. And then as we move past Saturday into Sunday, more of the same, mostly sunny skies and continued cool temperatures. Your quick lube in tune forecast now. 14 degrees our overnight low tonight. We'll see 31 for a high on Tuesday. 60% chance for snow. That'll be in the early morning hours of Wednesday. And then a 60% chance of snow at least on Wednesday morning with 34 our high temperature. 37 as we get into Thursday. 36 for Friday. And by the time we get into our upcoming weekend, mostly sunny on Saturday and Sunday with highs still only in the mid-30s. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Dear Mary Maids, please clean the kitchen and the cabinets and floors and the chairs. And I wish you could clean the dog. Colin is now feeding himself. Thanks, Megan.
Hi, Megan. No worries. We got it all cleaned up. Let's hope Colin gets past the spaghetti flinging stage soon. Till then, we've got you covered. See you next time, Mary Maids.
I'm working today.
I've got some work to do today.
Don't forget, I've got some work for you today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Thanks.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in our community.
New beginnings feel great, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Be a job creator. Goodwill. There's more behind the store.
A sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Monday. Hope you survived the weekend okay. The Cashmere girls brought home some hardware from the Hardwood Classic over the weekend in Yakima. For the 7th time in school history, the Cashmere girls basketball team earned a trophy at the state tournament. This year happened to be the 3rd place trophy as the Bulldogs bounced back from a semifinal loss Friday to LaSalle to beat Medical Lake 55-33. Coach Brent Darnell says he's proud of how the girls bounced back from Friday's loss.
We thought coming into this tournament we were one of the 3 best teams. We thought Linden Christian, LaSalle, or us could win this thing, and we thought we all had an equal chance. And we were right. We were one of the 3 best teams. We would have liked to have been 1 or 2. It's disappointing, but we're not going to let this loss define our season or our year. We had a great year. We won a lot of big games. We played in a lot of great games, and you know, we're still very young. We graduate 2 seniors. You know, we plan on coming back here, and we plan on being a good basketball team next year. So we got a lot of work to do. We're keeping our heads up. We're excited about already starting next year. Girls are talking about there. They can't wait to play, and that's a good thing when you walk out of your locker room and kids are still excited.
Cashmere fell behind early as Medical Lake hit 1-3 after another to build a 12-4 lead midway through the first quarter. The Bulldogs came storming back behind the play of Haley Van Lith and led 15-12 at the end of the first quarter and never trailed again. Van Lith says she can't help but feel they could have done better.
I would say we're a little disappointed, but I'm super proud of my team and how we finished it out. We gutted it out. We were really tough, and we did it for our community. We did it for each other, and it was a great difference from last year, just ending with a win and a strong finish. But I would say we're a little disappointed. My teammates, we've been playing with each other for a while now, and I love them. And a lot of people talk about me, but I have great teammates, and they know where to put me with the ball in a good spot. They know where I'm at on the court. They work their butt off on defense and rebounding, and they execute game plans very well. And if I didn't have such unselfish and willing teammates, I would not be where we are today, and we would not be as great of a team. So it's really all them for just how unselfish and willing they are to let me be the personality that I am on the court and let them play their role as well.
Haley led all scorers with 24 points. Grace Erdman nearly pulled off a double-double with 9 points and 11 rebounds.
You know, I'd say it's like a bittersweet because, of course, we're happy with winning our last game. I haven't done that before. But at the same time, in the back of our minds, there's that little voice saying, oh, you know, we could have been in the championship and we could have done well, you know. But at the same time, we're satisfied and we're happy with the result. But, you know, we're going to keep pushing next year and we're going to just, come together as a team more.
A huge crowd was on hand to cheer on the Bulldogs, something that didn't go unnoticed by the players, including Ellie Alberts, who scored 10 points.
It means a lot. The community, everybody coming out every day, no matter how far it is away, everybody comes out and supports, and the whole entire town's here, and really makes a difference with the emotions and how we're dealing with everything, and just continues to be so happy that everybody comes out.
So Cashmere downs Medical Lake 55-33 and finishes the season 22-3 and takes home the third-place trophy from the Hardwood Classic. In Yakima, I'm Eric Granstrom on the NCWLIFE channel. And on the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard from the 1A Girls Tournament, LaSalle goes on to win the state championship by downing Linden Christian, and Bellevue Christian takes fourth. Turning to the boys 1A tournament on the Les Schwab scoreboard, to no one's great surprise, Zilla is the state champion after running through the tournament, downing Kingsway Christian for the title. Kings was third, Linden Christian was fourth. Let's head to Spokane to see what happened in the B tournament at the Memorial Arena in Spokane. Tri-Cities Prep, the state 2B girls champion after downing Liberty Spangle 50-42. Wakayakum is third, and Davenport finishes in fourth. Kinnetaz continued its domination by winning the state 2B boys title 79-51 over St. George's. Brewster took third with a 57-49 win over Life Christian Academy. Lake Roosevelt finished sixth after falling on the final day to Toledo 52-25. On the state 1B tournament on the girls side, Colton is the state champion after downing Pomeroy. Elmira Cooley Heartline took fifth in that tournament. Sunnyside Christian is the state 1B boys champion after downing Yakima Tribal 54-45. Elmira Cooley Heartline boys took fifth. Well, the Wenatchee Wild tied one game apiece in their first round playoff series with West Kelowna after the two teams split a pair of weekend games over the weekend at the Town Toyota Center. Wenatchee won a thriller Saturday night, 5-4 on Murphy Stratton's second goal of the night with less than 3 minutes left in the game. The late game heroics were necessary after the Wild squandered a 4-1 lead in the third period. Our checker had the call on the Wenatchee Wild Hockey Network.
Set up along and tipped by Dorsey, but it didn't come out of the zone. Held in, crossing feed. Dubois, backdoor shot, and Dollywall scores. Dubois with a nice crossing feed, and Dollywall wide open on the back door, put it home on the glove side. And this game, they got it tied at 2. There's a shot and a score. Dubois shot it. Cullen may have got a piece of it. He gets tangled up. It's dug out. Dorsey's got it. Threads it in front for Stratton. Shoots. He scores! Beautifully set up by Dorsey, and Stratton with 6 mitts on the finish. Back across. Dollywall has it. Over to the right side. Dollywall backdoor shot and a score. Mike Hardman. With 1:34 left in regulation. Fletcher will take the draw. Bouncing puck, and the horn sounds, and that's it. Game 1 goes to the Wenatchee Wild.
Yeah, so they win game 1, then come back on Sunday and stumble and just could never really get things going on Sunday as they fall by a score of 5-1 to West Kelowna on Sunday. So the series, tied at a game apiece, goes to West Kelowna for games 3, 4, if necessary 5. Game 3 it will be in West Kelowna tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. We're done with the winter sports season. Hard to believe, and we're getting ready for spring.